Nalini, first you have to unmute yourself, plus you have to move towards the center of the screen. You are totally hidden. Only Mr. Murthy is visible. Nalini?
Have you unmuted yourself?
Hello, Uncle. Hi, Dilly.
I think I promised.
Have you started? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please start.
Nalini?
Hello?
We need to see your face. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
please.
Yes.
Okay. Namaste. Sorry for the hitch up. A very good evening to all our fellow Athashrians, Manjula and family, and friends who have joined us on this solemn occasion. We have all gathered here this evening not only to express our sincere and heartfelt condolences on Sri Chandrudu's passing away to Manjula and family on their irreparable loss, but also to celebrate the achievements and life of a fellow Athashrian. Sri Chandrudu was a man not only tall in stature, but also a man of varied interests. He was very well educated, not just in the conventional sense, but also was fairly well versed in our ancient Hindu epics, scriptures, Puranas, and Vedas. After completing his MBA from IIM Calcutta, he held very high posts in various shipping lines, both in India and abroad. He was well traveled and had a good ear for music. Collecting and listening to music of varied genres was a lifelong passion, and he spent hours before his computer after retirement downloading musical compositions. Sri Chandrudu was a neighbor and a very good friend of ours, and always playfully addressed me as General Nalini. His partiality for pickles and good spicy food was very well known. To the in the canteen before the COVID pandemic surfaced. He loved entertaining small, intimate groups of friends at musical evenings at his home. He has done yeoman service to Athashrians by preparing several one-hour capsules of very entertaining matter. It could be on classical music, folk dances, different classical dance forms, patriotic songs, film songs, folk music of different places of India, etc. These were screened during our Saturday conversations at the community hall for the pandemic. He must have spent several hours viewing, selecting, downloading, editing, and compiling these capsules for our entertainment. The looks of appreciation and joy on our faces were the only reward he wanted. We deeply appreciate and laud his services, and his absence will be sorely felt. As per our usual custom, there will now be a rendering of a passage from the Bhagavad Gita, followed by its meaning by Rama.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
Rama? Rama, can you unmute
Rama?
yourself?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm very sorry. I shall read the whole thing again. The meaning of the two verses. The first one says, Atma is not born, neither does it die. It is immortal, never ceases to be. It is eternal, ageless, and without birth. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. The second one says, just like a man casting away old and torn clothes and adorning himself in new clothes, the Atma also casts away old body and enters a new body. We will now have a prayer from the Christian religion, namely a Bible from the Bible. It is written by Archdiocese of Bombay.
God our Father, your power brings us to birth. Your providence guides our lives. And by your command, we return to dust. Lord, those who die still live in your presence. Their lives change but do not end. I pray in hope for my family, relatives, and friends, and for all the dead known to you alone. In company with Jesus Christ, who died and now lives, may they rejoice in your kingdom, where all our tears are wiped away. Unite us together again in one family to sing your praise forever and ever. Amen.
I now invite some fellow Athashrians to speak a few words about their experiences with Sri Chandrudu. May I request Mr. Chandran? Are you there? Mr. Chandran,
No, he's there.
please unmute
Yes,
yourself.
he's there. Can you unmute yourself, sir?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I am here.
Unmute பண்ணியாச்சுன்னு
I have unmuted.
So you can start speaking. பேசுமா.
Can I start?
Yes, please go ahead.
Go ahead. Thank you. In the demise of Mellechervu Srirama Chandrudu,
Been
Athashrian,
him, no? Yeah. He's not been on there. No, you're not been seen, no?
I am not seen.
Yeah.
No?
No, we can see you. We can see you.
We can see.
We can see you. We can see you.
In the demise of Mellechervu Srirama Chandrudu, Athashri has lost a perfect gentleman, and I personally have lost a good friend of mine. I mentioned his full name because when I met him first, he was proud of his full name and he explained its significance to me.
Can you speak a little louder? We're not able to hear you properly.
It's okay?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. I mentioned his full name because when I met him first, he was proud of his full name and explained its significance. We both share the same date of birth, 31st August. Of course, the years change. My name is Chandran, and it is embedded in his name as Chandrudu. So there is some kind of a divine link between me and Chandrudu in the name and also in my birth. That gives me a great pleasure in associating myself with such a good soul. Our relationship was built on mutual respect and interdependence. He was a connoisseur of music, as Nalini pointed out. He used to download a lot of music and all. Gauri and myself, we used to conduct conversation sessions on every Saturday. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to get a speaker, but still we don't want to cancel. And I always had Chandrudu as a Abad Bandhava. He will come to my rescue and say, "Don't worry, Chandrana, I will prepare a bunch of song and music and entertain people. The conversation will go on." He has saved me from a number of such situations. In those days, there was no Zoom, and it was all in real time in our community hall. So it becomes very difficult to face the audience and tell them, "Today there is no program." But Chandrudu is always by my side. There was some program or other. He will put it, the Chandrudu that way was a very unfailing friend of mine. Whenever I think of anything, he is there with me. Another aspect of Chandrudu and myself is he is very protective of me. Even though I am elder to him, he is very protective. I'll give an example. I was working as one of the committee members in our association. In one of the AGMs, one member stood up and blasted me with a lot of questions. I was very silent and unperturbed. I was very cool. But Chandrudu could not see it for long. He stood up and blasted that man, and he left the meeting. I just thanked him. But he said, from that day onwards, he used to call me Gurudev. I was wondering why he calls me Gurudev. One day I asked him, why do you call me Gurudev? He said, I admire one quality of yours, that whoever provokes you, you never get perturbed. You're always cool. But I get triggered immediately. So I want to learn that from you. And so I call you Gurudev. It was really very heartening to hear that. When he was coming back from hospital one day in a wheelchair, I met him with his neck drooped. He called me lovingly, Gurudev. Tears rolled down my eyes. I couldn't stop crying. He was such a man who had a lot of influence over me. When the other point which I wanted to share is, I am happy that Manjula has decided to stay back in Athashrian, at least for some time. Chandrudu used to tell me that she saved his life thrice from the jaws of death. And even in the last battle, she couldn't withdraw him from that jaws of death. But he served him lovingly and very, very dedicated manner. Chandrudu, that day, Manjula has that quality which I admire, and he always used to be proud of that she saved me 3 times a day in his life. Chandrudu was a legend by himself. I can keep on talking about him a number of things, but this is not the occasion when emotions overpower our other feelings. Today is, I consider as a very important day. You may wonder why. They say, king is dead, long live the king. Today, the king Chandrudu is dead, but long live his children, whose birthday is today, that they are going to continue the legendary man's work. His personality will shine in them, and we bless them both and let them be kings after the king. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chandran. It was lovely. Can I request Mr. Raja to say a few words, please? Mr. Raja?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, like Chandran, I was in the small group of persons who came to know Chandrudu as soon as he and Manjula moved into Athashri some 6 years ago. And I have very fond memories of my friendship with him, which grew friendship and respect for him over the years. And it's very sad to think that in a matter of a few months, he has passed away and will no longer be with us. I remember the early days when he came in, and we had our meetings in the lunchroom when he used to walk in with his the tall, stately figure used to come in, and we used to talk about many things, and we discovered many common interests right from his early days in IIM Calcutta to music that Chandran was talking about. And since we were very few of us in Athashri, in fact, we wanted to get him involved in some activity or the other, as we wanted everyone in Athashri to. And almost everyone was involved in something or the other. So Chandran, as usual, approached him and he said, "What would you like to do for us?" So straight away he said, "Nothing." He said, "I won't do anything because I've not come here to do anything for anyone. I've come to relax. And this is the place for that, and that's why I've chosen Athashri." But then we realized that behind that tough exterior, there was a soft soul that we could connect to. And Chandan is a person who doesn't give up. So he went on and found that music was one of the things on which we could tap him. And when he did that, then Chandrudu immediately softened and then started on his own offering the vast and fantastic collection that he had been building. And we have had occasions, I have had occasion to sit with him in his house and see him at work, collecting, editing, putting together music of all forms, music and dance, of all kinds, Indian and Western, and offering them to us, as Chandran said, on those days when there were no programs of regular conversations. And this went on for a long time. And even when I had to handle conversation sometime, I used to depend on him. But then he used to do it on his own. He used to do the selection. He used to bring his own laptop. He used to switch it on and conduct the whole program and go back. And once I remember when it was a program of Tagore's music, Rabindra Sangeet. So I said, "I'll select the songs for you." He said, "No, I'll do it myself." He said, "What I'm going to present, I am going to do. And I don't want anyone else to do that." He didn't want to be taken for granted. And on another occasion also, when we were starting the Fine Arts Society, I said, "Now you're here with us. So we have got a collection of songs that we can put anytime." He said, "No, I won't give it to you." So I said, "That's what you say. But tomorrow if I don't ask you, you will come and offer that." And true enough, he was ready any time to help us, but on his own terms. And that was fantastic. So over the years, I found that he had come and spoken to me, to my grandson, to my wife, to everyone, on a whole lot of things. And I respected him all the more for that, and my respect and my love for him grew over the years. He had passed on to me a book, very lovingly, a project report done by his granddaughter for me to go through. And I found it absolutely delightful. I have not talked to the granddaughter yet, but I told Chandrudu what I thought of that project. So there was this constant exchange between us, whether on music or on anything else. And to think that that will no longer be there is indeed a very, very sad thought for us. And I am away in Kerala right now. When I come back, I fear that those old memories would haunt me and haunt me for a long time. That we have only memories to preserve. I wish I join all of you. I join Manjula, uh, Chandana, and Vijay in praying for Chandrudu and in praying for all of us to bear this loss. We are all getting old, and I hope God will grant us the strength to bear with such losses that we are facing now uh, more commonly, more often than in the past. May God help us.
Thank you, Mr. Raja. May I request Mr. Dhananjay to come forward? Mr. Dhananjay?
Sir, unmute yourself. Mr. Dhananjay, unmute.
Please unmute.
Unmute, is not.
Yes, unmute. Mr. Dhananjay, please unmute yourself.
Is Dhananjay there?
Yeah, he's there. Please unmute. Yeah,
You're able to hear now?
yeah.
The passing away of Mr. Chandrudu is sad news for all Athashrians. In particular, a group of us who were closely associated with him over the past 6 years. Till the pandemic, we almost over a period of time used to have lunch together, and a group of us would meet, and we were often called the Andhra table. And of course, being Telugu being our common language, we used to have a lot of fun. Dr. Gopala Krishna also used to join in that group. So Chandrudu was widely traveled and would often tell us his experiences of different cities in Europe. For elderly parents, company of children in their company of the children itself, they cherish. And Mr. Chandrudu must have been very happy to have company of his children sometime back in the last few months with his daughter, son-in-law, son. Athashrians would have happy memories of Mr. Chandrudu. All his videos of music, dance, pictures would be in their memories for a long time. And it was a huge attraction. My sincere condolences to Madam Manjula, Chandana, Vijay, Ram, and members of the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dhananjay. Now I request Brigadier Murthy to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. On this solemn occasion, most of the previous speakers have already mentioned about his great contribution to the Athashri community by way of composing so many dances, classical dances, music, and sometimes movies also. I have known him for the past 6 years because we were one of the early arrivals here, and we are in the same floor. So we meet often, and we have developed a mutual respect and regard for each other. Our relationship was not very demonstrative, but we always sort of fond of each other. And I still remember the few evenings we had spent in his home, watching a movie or watching a musical program, or just simply sit and chat. On one occasion, probably it was the last occasion when we met with him as a family in July 2021, last year, when I wanted to just come and meet him for some time. he readily agreed, and then I went over there. And his son-in-law, Ravi, was there. Manjula, of course, was there. So we were watching, those days the Tokyo Olympics was on. So we were just happened to switch on the TV. Ravi switched on the TV, and then we saw the javelin event was going on. So all of us were there watching that. To our good luck, on that day, Neeraj Chopra won the gold medal. So we were all so happy and thrilled. And Mr. Chandrudu forgot about all his illness and all. He thoroughly enjoyed the moment. And this moment I will never forget in my life. After that, of course, his health started failing very rapidly. Only I would meet him in his wheelchair whenever he was going for a treatment. But unfortunately, God has taken him back. I can only sort of convey our sincere condolences and pray for Manjula and his family, to God to give them enough strength to bear this loss. And I also pray for his soul to rest in peace. Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you. May I now request Vijay, Mr. Chandrudu's son, to say a few words?
Oh, yes, because I'm the older one.
Okay. Yeah, you can just say it.
Auntie, I'll go first if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I'm the older one.
Okay.
She stops the
You have the right to speak first.
Yes.
on me.
Yes,
And ladies first.
You start talking.
Okay. Thank you, dear Rama auntie, Nalini auntie, and Raja uncle for organizing this memorial event for my dad. Thank you, everyone, for your touching tributes. And thank you, friends and family, for attending this event. It's my honor and privilege to pay tribute to my dearest daddy, Mr. Mellechervu Chandrudu, today, which also happens to be my birthday. It's bittersweet, no doubt. On the one hand, I miss him very, very much today. But on the other, I'm very happy to celebrate his life with all of you. Dad passed away at the age of 79, 7 months shy of his 80th birthday. But I'm happy to tell you that he led a full life. He had a happy married life with a wonderful wife who was by his side for nearly 50 years. He had a good career, great friends, traveled the world, fulfilled his dream of sending both his kids to the US, and experienced the love of grandchildren. In the last 6 years of his life, he thoroughly enjoyed his stay at Athashrian. He always wanted to live in Bangalore, and we are so, so glad that he found a warm and wonderful home in Athashrian. Thank you all for making his stay so wonderful and comfortable. My father was a self-made man. He hailed from a small town called Tenali in Andhra Pradesh. He was the eldest of 3 siblings. His dad was a noted lawyer and mom a homemaker. After getting his bachelor's in science, Dad decided to pursue a degree in a very unique field, sugar technology, from the Sugar Technology Institute in Kanpur, UP. After that, he went on to pursue an MBA from the prestigious IIM, Calcutta. He was part of the second batch of IIMC. While he was at IIM, he dreamt of going to the US to pursue doctoral studies. However,
fate had something else in store for him. His dad passed away very suddenly. He became the head of the family and took on the responsibilities of getting his younger sister married and supporting his younger brother with his medical education. Thus, he was not able to fulfill his dream of going to the US for higher studies. But everything happens for a reason. After he graduated from IAMC, he joined Scindia Steam Navigation, a reputed shipping company at the time, and built his career in the global shipping industry for many years. He retired from the UN organization ICRISAT in Hyderabad. Dad was my friend, philosopher, guide, critic, and mentor. He was a very loving father, yet very strict about certain things. He took very keen interest in my education as well as my brother. He always encouraged me to work hard, study well, pursue a master's or better, and become economically independent. He believed that all girls should be able to stand on their own 2 feet and not depend on anyone. Even until recently, I used to enjoy having discussions about career and work with Dad. He used to give me some very wise advice. When we were growing up, Dad wanted us to have different experiences to broaden our horizons. He would take us to the zoo, planetarium, libraries, book and painting exhibitions, puppet shows, dance and music recitals, so on and so forth. I think that's how I developed my appreciation for all types of art forms. Dad was so happy that I'm still able to pursue my classical dance. For whatever I am today, I owe it to both my parents, especially to Dad. Dad doted over his grandchildren. His unique trait was that he could relate to all age groups. He would joke with my 13-year-old son, talk to him about Pokemon, animation films, and math puzzles. And with my 19-year-old daughter, he would talk about academics, campus life, and pets. He would give her life advice and listen keenly to what she had going on at her college. He used to send the kids very interesting, motivating articles and forwards about a variety of topics, which they used to really look forward to. When we were looking at a few shortlisted colleges for my daughter, my dad did more research about the universities than my husband and I. Dad was very proud of his grandchildren. They say that they really miss their beloved Tata. Dad, as you all know, had varied interests and especially loved the fine arts. Music, of course, was his first love, as all of you know. But he thoroughly enjoyed reading books, appreciated classical dance, loved watching movies, all genres, and enjoyed photography and videography. He had a strong interest in technology and cars. His favorite shows on TV were The Gadget Guru and The Car and Bike Show. My husband, who's a car enthusiast, used to enjoy talking to Dad about cars, gadgets, and the latest in technology. Due to Dad's interest in photography and videography, he captured so many precious moments of our lives. All the important family events, social gatherings, family trips, and our stay abroad. My brother and I are currently sorting through thousands, believe me, thousands of pictures and trying to digitize them. There's just so many of them that I don't think we'll be able to complete this project before we leave back for the US. Thanks to the travel bug in Dad, we were able to travel to other countries and experience the world. When he visited the US in 2002, when my daughter was born, he had only one wish. He wanted to visit Disneyland. So we celebrated Dad's 60th birthday at Disneyland, California. He was so happy. Dad's passing is not only a huge loss for the three of us, but it's also a big loss for the entire extended family. He was like a father figure who used to give relatives and friends very wise and practical advice and some valuable management tips. He had helped counsel friends and neighbors' kids on studying abroad, especially at US universities, and inspired them to aspire for more. We would joke with him and tell him that he should set up an educational consulting business on the side. Everyone who knew him held him in high regard. He was very meticulous, organized, highly principled, and extremely fair. He kept his family abreast of all his financial matters. That's why even after his passing, we don't have too many loose ends to tie up. Dad had a very endearing personality and had quite a few friends who have known him for over 50 years now. All in all, Dad had a larger than life personality. He was a trailblazer in many ways. He will be thoroughly missed by each and everyone who knew him. I'm going to end with the following quote. A father is neither an anchor to hold us back, nor a sail to take us there, but a guiding light whose love shows us the way. I know that Dad will always be with us in spirit, watching over us and protecting us from above. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chandana. That was beautiful. May I request Vijay now?
Are you visible?
Yes. Thanks to all the distinguished speakers who paid wonderful tributes to my dad. I'd like to pay homage to him by reciting a poignant poem. It's titled, I Am Free. I am free, don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand when I heard him call, then turned and bid farewell to all. I could not stay another day, to laugh, to love, to work or play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. I found my peace at the close of day. And if my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah, yes, these things I too will miss. Be not burdened deep with sorrow. I wish for you the sunshine of tomorrow. May life be full. I've savored much. Good family, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your hearts and share within. God wanted me now, he set me free. I found this poem to be a truly beautiful tribute to my dad and comforting for our family. I miss him every day. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you, Vijay. I'd like to thank you all for your gracious presence on this solemn occasion. Om Shanti Om.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will end with a little Shanti prayer. Yeah.
Thank you. We shall now